I am rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1703, January 27th, 2026. We hit a high of 47 on this day. That was in 1934. And on this day in 1950, we hit 23 below. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
John, I have something for you from Timothy McKeever. I think you and Kenny, I believe it was on the air. Maybe it was off the air. Well, it had to be on the air unless this guy's a council member. You were wondering about roots music.
Yes.
What were you wondering?
What falls under the definition of roots music? What different, like bluegrass, country,
The genre.
Okay, well, this fellow
hymns,
writes, I heard John say that roots music is old bluegrass and country. I've never heard this. I've always heard the term roots music in the context of roots of rock and roll.
Yeah.
Country may be a part of the roots of rock, but the majority would clearly be R&B or what sadly used to be called race music.
Yeah.
I think that is what I said. I think Kenny asked me because he thought it was country bluegrass. I said, yeah, but you got to mix in all that other stuff.
And then he goes on, I guess old country and bluegrass would be the roots of new country and bluegrass, but it seems to me that the work product of these genres pale in comparison to rock. A good podcast related to old rhythm and blues roots music is called Juke in the Back.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Oh,
Juke,
that sounds fun.
Juke, Juke in
Yeah.
the Back. Thank you, sir. Have you ever encountered anything in your garage that's terribly useful and you have no idea where it came from or how you got it?
Sure.
I had to jump to CP's car yesterday morning, and I've always owned jumper cables, conventional jumper cables that are connected, meaning there's one long cable from which at both ends springs a positive and a neutral.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that is. That's gone.
You lost your cables?
Oh, the cables I pulled down from the shelf, thinking that was what I was pulling down, are two separate cables. One's a long negative cable, one's a long positive cable.
Don't you just use your Cobra?
That didn't even occur to me, but you're right. I could have.
I love that thing.
Is that a jump box?
Yeah, we got it from, whose house did we do the show at years ago?
Paul somebody, right?
Paul, yes, down in Burnsville.
If Rook was here, he would know that. But he's babysitting.
He's been suspended for a day.
So anyway, these cables prove to be much better. A, they're longer, and B, there's no tangling. They're two separate long cables. And it worked just like bing, bang, boom. And now they're put back on top of the shelf where the old cables were. I have no idea where they came from.
I know
Zero.
where they went. They were in the trunk of a car that you sold or traded in.
I bet you're right.
Yeah.
I bet you are right.
I've lost so many good cables that way. Big, heavy-duty monster cables. Gone. Just gone.
Well, these are heavy-duty monster cables, and you're right. The only thing I can figure is that they came with the car I most recently sold, which would have been sold in September of 24.
To the same alleged gentleman that's babysitting?
No, this was a British car.
Oh, gotcha.
He'd be I wouldn't do that to him. He wouldn't get very far.
Got it. May I ask a question before you begin?
Oh, you know what?
festivities?
You know what? Why not?
You know when back in the radio days when Royce would call in for was it a 440 hit every day?
Something like that.
And he would call in and Rook would answer the phone and Royce would say, Who we mad at today?
Yeah.
Should the phrase be changed to the current climate here in the great state of Minnesota to who's mad at us today?
Everybody,
Everybody, yeah.
everybody's angry.
You know, I think I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Here we go.
I've been terribly successful in angering everyone.
Attaboy.
Congratulations, Joe. You're doing the Lord's work.
Well, isn't that what I mean,
Yes.
afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted.
You want to break the news to the GLers about my suspension a couple of weeks ago?
Well, you were never suspended.
I had a
You
funeral.
got a funeral.
Yeah.
We lost our good friend John Ryan. He was a great friend of the show. He was a frequent contributor to Bulletin Board under the heading John from Highland. Was I on the air when I mentioned this
Yes.
yesterday?
No, you were not. But you mentioned, I believe the council did hear that.
Well, a week ago Sunday, I walked out of Mass with him, shooting the breeze, said, "How you doing?" He said, "I'm struggling." He had Parkinson's, but I don't think 2 days later he died. I'll have to get the info when I go to the wake. But he, mighty friendly GLer in terms of the show. Say, I did some homework. I think something needs to be cleared up. There seems to be a confusion about how the state of Minnesota works with the federal government when it comes to immigration control enforcement. The state of Minnesota works with immigration control enforcement. There are not nearly as many illegals in state prisons as we have been told by the administration. There's a little more than 200. Anything ICE wants to know about them is made available to ICE. There's been no dispute about that. What Paul Schnell tells you is the truth. He, for example, is upset that people believe the Department of Corrections, which is a state agency, he's upset that it's been reported they are not cooperating with ICE. Yes, they are. That's the state. The state is cooperating. Minneapolis has a specific ordinance called a separation ordinance that was written by Jason Chavez, Aisha Chugtai, and what's Chowdhury's name? Please, anyone? Chowdhury.
I'm on it.
I don't know what her name is. These are three Democratic socialists, which I think will become germane to this in just a moment.
Is it Aaron?
Aaron Chowdhury. It's been around for a while. They've amended it as recently as 2025. The city of, well, I can't read you the whole thing because it's page after page after page, but I read it to corroborate the fact that Minneapolis has a separation ordinance, and it reads, Purpose and Policy. This chapter clarifies the communication and enforcement relationship between the city and the federal government, including the United States Department of Homeland Security and other federal agencies with respect to, and they crossed a lot of lines out because it's amended. This chapter is necessary for the protection of the city's public peace, health, and safety. The city is home to persons of diverse racial, ethnic, and national backgrounds, including a large immigrant and refugee population. All Minneapolis residents, whether they are U.S. citizens, permanent residents, undocumented residents, refugees, asylum seekers, or residents with any other immigration status, are valued and integral members of our social, cultural, and economic fabric. Many immigrants have created deep ties in Minneapolis, which they have cultivated for themselves, their families, and their communities. The city is committed to building a welcoming and respected atmosphere where all people are welcomed and accepted. In furtherance of that commitment, the city respects, upholds, and values equal protection and equal treatment for all residents. And it goes on to say, the city formally prioritizes using its finite resources to advance the health and safety of its residents. If city personnel were to enforce federal immigration laws for the federal government, it would squander limited municipal resources, having deleterious effects on public safety and have a chilling effect on immigrant population's willingness to report crime and cooperate with the city's public safety efforts. Additionally, public safety and accountability are supported when public safety officers have clear agency identification and do not hide their identities when interacting with the public unless they are in an undercover role. Enforcing federal immigration laws alongside federal agents who lack clear agency identification and or who are masked or otherwise concealing their identities or badges would be contrary to the values of the city and harmful to the trust and public safety of city residents. Okay. Well, I'll read one more and then I'll stop because it's tedious and it's legalese. Although the federal government has the legal authority to enforce immigration law in the United States, in Minnesota, and in the city will not act or operate its programs for the purpose of enforcing federal immigration laws. Additionally, it is the policy of the city to vigorously oppose any effort to require the use of city resources for the enforcement of federal immigration laws. These statements of policy and those set forth in this chapter are based on the fact that the city is safer, healthier, and more vibrant when city personnel maintain a relationship of trust, respect, and cooperation with city residents. The trust, respect, and cooperation would be destroyed, especially for immigrant communities, if city personnel were to act as agents of federal immigration authorities. Goes on and on and on and on, but I'm hoping this clears up something. The state of Minnesota has no laws. The state doesn't create ordinances, it creates laws. The state of Minnesota has no laws prohibiting the State Department of Corrections from aiding immigration control enforcement. They have done so. The city of Minneapolis has specific ordinance called the Separation Ordinance that prohibits city personnel, which would include police, from aiding immigration control enforcement. Now, and because we live in the world of two competing tribes, you either are glad that Minneapolis has that ordinance or you find it folly.
May I?
Yes.
When you were reading that, I was hoping, dreaming, that the feds could come in and I realize this is folly, arrest the city council for not enforcing and passing what you just read.
That cannot be done.
Unfortunately, you're right. I looked it up, and that cannot be done. There's something called anti-commandeering doctrines. The only thing they could do would be if there's obstruction of justice or if they're harboring known illegals.
And I should say that in the amending of this ordinance, it was to make it stronger. In other words, as I go through it, and I read out all the crossed out lines, I realized they were crossing out lines that they didn't think were strong enough.
Right.
In other words, they
that's the
crossed
city.
out.
Yeah.
The city works cooperatively with Homeland Security as it does with all state and federal agencies. They crossed that out. But the city does not operate its programs for the purpose of enforcing federal immigration laws. They crossed that out. And and they have new language, which is it clarifies the communication and enforcement relationship between the city and the federal government, of which in the city of Minneapolis there is none. By ordinance of Chavez, Chugtai, and Chowdhury. Now, do you want to go down a rabbit hole? Do you want to analyze what? Okay, maybe a reasonable question would be, why would Chavez, Chugtai, and Chowdhury write such an ordinance and then get it passed by the Minneapolis City Council? Anyone, staff? Anyone?
Are they all born in the United States of America?
I believe so, but they all would have very strong immigrant
Correct.
backgrounds in their lives.
Yeah. I can't guess. What do you say?
Well, I'm trying to think of an answer that equally angers both sides.
Well, you have to. And how many council members voted in favor of this?
Well, let's look that up, Gabe. Look up the city separation ordinance.
For Minneapolis.
Minneapolis separation ordinance. You could start it by origin and vote. What I did is looked up the most current city separation ordinance.
I am seeing unanimously approved
That does not surprise
December
me.
11th, 2025.
Okay, that was the amended version. So it was recently as
Even
What?
Wansley, huh?
not even well, of course, Wansley. It was
Oh,
amended.
I'm sorry.
that-
I meant Vita, Joe, Latricia. I meant.
It was amended not 2 months ago. Well, yes, December 11th and January 11th a month. It was amended 5 weeks ago,
Yep.
6 weeks ago, to make it stronger, which is their prerogative. City Council in Minneapolis had every right in the world to amend this if they want. Elections have consequences. This is who Minneapolis has voted to represent them.
And I don't want to jump ahead of you, but where are you going with this?
Oh, I'm going, but go ahead.
Well, I know where I'm going. I mean, it's led to this mayhem that we have where city police are not, Minneapolis Police Department, same with St. Paul, not allowed to even do crowd control.
Right now? Right now you're worried about your garage?
I'm always worried about my garage.
Get a hold of Precision Garage Door. Maybe you need a new door. Do you think the cold weather stops these guys? No. You get a new door just like I can get you a new door today.
I'm worried because I installed it. That's why I'm
I
worried.
would be worried too. Precision Door has $500 off right now for GLers on the purchase of a new door and the operator combination that raises and lowers it. They have models for every budget. They send out a designer for your free consultation. Bing, bang, boom, you're good to go. If you like your current door, but you're worried about this long winter and she's creaking and groaning in ways that you don't like, book a Precision Door, noisy door tune-up special, and they'll put the optics on there. Not the optics, the diagnostics, a 25-point diagnostics. And then you decide what you need to do to keep that baby operating at full strength and reliability throughout the winter. Book online at precisiondoormn.com or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985. 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate or book a noisy door tune-up special with precision door.
So do you think it's led to more confrontations in Minneapolis and St. Paul? This ordinance which you're speaking of?
I tend to think of this with a larger overview. For example, let's just talk about this civilly if we can. Why would Chavez, Chugtai, and Chowdhury create an ordinance that was able to be passed without any trouble whatsoever? And it's an ordinance that basically is telling the federal government, we want nothing to do with you when it comes to immigration control.
To me, it's obvious, and it's what we've been talking about for years. They're anti-American. They're socialist. They don't like the way this country was started and the way it is, and they want to change it. And this is part of it. And it makes no sense to me, but that's all I can come up with. It's a socialist agenda.
Right. And I don't want to go there, but I'm going to. I don't want to go there because too many people are rejecting that out of hand. I think too many people say, no, that can't possibly be it.
Right, because it's absurd. It seems so absurd.
That can't possibly be it. They are just expressing their belief in humanity, and okay, and that's true. That's true. But I think it stems from the idea, particularly in the authors of the ordinance, many of whom we've talked about over the years, Chavez, Chugtai, and Chowdhury. I would suspect they would prefer the country not have borders. I suspect they believe, which is a great theological thing to believe. It has no basis in reality. I would suspect they believe all people are legal. They don't believe that illegality should be attached to a human being. Where the problem, and that's, okay, I get it. The problem is this includes people who should not be here.
Right.
And where it has its most basic impact is the locals have no obligation, based on the ordinance, the locals have no obligation to be in daily contact with immigration control enforcement. If Juan Berenguer is getting released from jail,
former Twins relief pitcher.
Juan.
yeah, well, Juan got in a little trouble there, didn't he?
Well,
Were you a big fan of the Berenguer Boogie?
I thought it was fun. Yeah. If Juan is to be released, we've been through this, to be released on a Monday morning, he got picked up for his third DWI. He can't afford bail, but the jail can only keep him 48 hours, so the jail is going to release him Monday morning, and he awaits further instructions from his attorney on a court appearance, which he might or might not reply to, live up to. He might not show up in court on his day. He might. But in the meantime, there's a federal hold on him for an armed robbery. He was let's make it more. There's maybe I'm getting in Chowdhury's camp. What could he have been held for that the feds would be interested in? They're not interested in his third DWI, even though he's illegal.
it would be felonies, right?
Yeah, they'd have to be a felony charge. So they say we're letting him go at 9:30 at the east entrance on Hennepin Avenue or whatever. If you guys want to be there, pick him up. They're not doing that.
And they used to.
Prior to this separation ordinance,
Yeah.
that would have been the case.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
And different counties in the state of Minnesota, there being 87 counties. There are some counties that have similar ordinances and many that don't. There are many counties in Minnesota where the local sheriff is going to call ICE and say, hey, guess what? We arrested a guy last night for speeding, and we note that there's a federal hold on him for A, B, and C. Do you want him? Because we got him. And then they go and get him. That's how that happens. This ordinance in Minneapolis prohibits that. I hope I'm being clear. Let me follow it up with something else. This is from Fox 9. The Trump administration has repeatedly blamed county and state officials in Minnesota for releasing violent criminals from jail or prison instead of handing them over to ICE for deportation. But many of those detainees have no criminal records in Minnesota or haven't been incarcerated here for several years. What we know, the words jail and prison are used interchangeably, and that's where the problem is coming in.
Yeah.
That's where the problem is. Jails are operated by county sheriff's departments. They typically hold offenders who are either serving a sentence less than 1 year or cannot post their bond while waiting for their trial date. They just can't afford it. Prisons are operated by the Department of Corrections. Inmates go to prison if they have been convicted of serious and or violent crimes and are sentenced to be incarcerated for more than a year. Minnesota law requires the Department of Corrections to notify ICE when a person committed to DOC custody is not a U.S. citizen.
Oh, requires.
Department of Corrections also honors all ICE detainers and coordinates transfers when ICE requests pickup. Everybody with me so far?
Yep.
So far.
Some county jails in Minnesota, most notably Hennepin County, do not honor ICE detainers. That means the jail will not hold an inmate for ICE pickup unless agents have a warrant signed by a judge. So if these ICE people in town would have shown up at Hennepin County Jail for a specific individual, and here's a warrant signed by the judge, at that point, the Hennepin County Jail must release that person to Immigration Control Enforcement.
Sure.
Those policies have led to fierce criticism from the Trump administration as immigration officials blame a lack of cooperation from sanctuary politicians who release criminal illegal aliens directly from jails onto the streets of Minnesota. Let me repeat. The state of Minnesota does not do that. Who wrote this for Fox 9? It's well done, a guy named Joe Augustine. The state doesn't do that. This has occurred in several cases, including a man detained by ICE last summer for vehicular homicide after he was released by Hennepin County Jail without notification. An illegal immigrant arrested for vehicular homicide, presumably could not post his bail, was released from Hennepin County Jail, but ICE was not notified. Many of the worst detained as part of Operation Metro Surge have not been in a county jail in Minnesota for several years. The Fox 9 investigators reviewed state court records for nearly 36 people detained as part of Operation Metro Surge. 1 out of every 3 cases involved a detainee with no criminal record. Let me get the page. With no criminal record in Minnesota. Many who do have criminal records here were released from custody several years ago. For example, DHS claims Hoivan Kunmikse was recently detained because he has a criminal record that includes sexually abusing a child and failing to register as a sex offender. That is true. However, the sexual abuse charge was from 2006. The last time he spent behind bars in Minnesota was in 2015. He served 20 days in the Mower County Jail for failing to register as a sex offender. Court records show he has not been in the system since. The Fox 9 investigators identified only 4 ICE detainees who spent time in jail in the past year. The records undercut DHS claims that ICE agents are having to pick up people recently cut loose by county jails. According to this investigation, that is not true. The Trump administration's claims that they suggest you're releasing all these dangerous people, and that means we're running around trying to find them and capture them. That is not the case. Only 4 have been released. DHS also appeared to mix up criminal records for some of their worst of the worst. For example, the agency says Gilbert Gallardo Race was detained because of a criminal history that included driving while under the influence and violating a court order. In state court records, the only offenses under that name are minor traffic violations and a guilty plea to giving false information to a peace officer.
Is he illegal?
Yes.
And the aforementioned rapist from 2006, I think you said Mower County?
Yes.
Was he an illegal?
Yes.
Good
We don't
Lord.
even know where that guy is. He hasn't been in the system since 2015.
The fact that
He might live in Omaha. We don't know.
But the fact that he didn't get the boot then and there is shocking to me. If he was an illegal and committed a crime, bye-bye. See ya.
This fellow I talked about for the minor traffic offenses served 3 days in the Stearns County Jail in 2020 and has not served time in Minnesota since. The charges cited by DHS belong to an older man with a similar name. They seem to have serious records problems, and frankly, that should concern all of us, said Paul Schnell, Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Corrections. DHS has made similar misleading or outright false claims about Minnesota prisons. This tends to reinforce my solution to this, which is ICE goes back to the drawing board and really, really gets all their I's dotted and T's crossed. Come back, don't tell us you're here. Get the guys you actually can demonstrate are necessary for you to pick up. Yes?
I knew you were going to go there, and I found a video. Can I play it for you? It's about 2 minutes long, and it has to do with the narrative being expressed by what's going on. And I'm with you. I'm with all of you guys, I think, that the tactics being displayed here, it should be improved. It does feel like there's not a lot of coordination going on right now.
Who is
Well,
this?
does the video prove one side or the other?
Well, it's from President Obama a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And immigration policy.
Yeah.
And I want you to explain to me what the difference with what President Trump may have said, and again, is his delivery the best? Not really. But explain to me what the difference is and how it's being reported upon on certain media outlets. Is that fair?
Let her fly, Jimmy.
Okay, here we go.
There is bipartisan hope of getting it done. This year, the Senate passed an immigration reform bill by a wide bipartisan majority, and it addresses the key issues that need to be addressed. It would strengthen our borders. It would level the playing field by holding employers accountable if they knowingly hire undocumented workers. It would modernize our legal immigration system so that we eliminate the backlog of family visas and make it easier to attract highly skilled entrepreneurs from beyond our borders. It would make sure that everybody plays by the same rules by providing a pathway to earned citizenship for those who are living in the shadows. A path that includes passing a background check and learning English and paying taxes and a penalty and getting in line behind everyone trying to come here the right way. And each of these pieces would go a long way towards fixing our broken immigration system. Each of them has been supported by Democrats and Republicans in the past. There's no reason we can't come together and get it done. And what's more, we know the immigration reform that we're proposing would boost our economy and shrink our deficits. Independent economists have said that if the Senate bill became law over the next 2 decades, our economy would grow by $1.4 trillion more, and it would reduce our deficits by $850 billion more. And you don't have to be an economist to figure out that workers will be more productive if they've got their families here with them. They're not worried about deportation. They're not living halfway around the world. This isn't just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. Right now, it's up to Republicans in the House to decide if we can move forward as a country on this bill. If they don't want to see it happen, they've got to explain why. The good news is, just this past week, Speaker Boehner said that he is hopeful we can make progress on immigration reform. And that is good news. I believe the Speaker is sincere. I think he genuinely wants to get it done. And that's something we should be thankful for this week. And I think there are a number of other House Republicans who also want to get this done. Some of them are hesitant to do it in one big bill like the Senate did. That's okay. They can. It's Thanksgiving. Yeah, we can carve that bird into multiple pieces.
Well, 2 things jump out at me.
Talk to me, Goose.
There's a key word there that doesn't exist today, and that's bipartisan.
Oh, that's the good point.
That's
Yep.
exactly what I wrote down on a sheet of paper.
And that was my question. What year was this? His first or second term?
I believe this was early on. It says it's from 12 years ago, Ken. So do the math.
Do the math. What's 12?
Well, no, it's got to be longer than that.
So that would be his second term.
Go ahead, John.
That was for a reform bill, though, just to talk about it, that didn't pass because the Republicans weren't in favor of it.
And then
That's what he's talking about.
But what he's talking about did not pass?
Correct. It was a big bill, path to citizenship, all that, and did not pass.
do we know why they voted against it or didn't vote
I
for
always
it?
thought it was, well, I can check, but I thought it was the path to citizenship thing that everybody was not happy about.
But doesn't it prove? I'm sorry, Joe.
The other thing that stood out was he said he believed John Boehner was sincere.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to hear that from Trump. There is no bipartisan.
I don't think you'll hear that from either side at this point. We're
because,
so far apart.
Because we've become 2 tribes.
Yeah. And I seem to remember everything changing when President Trump in his first term wanted to put up the wall, right? Mm-hmm. That's when everything got really political. And then Biden took office, and it was like they opened up the garage doors and said, party here.
Come on in.
Come on in. We got plenty of kegs and cups.
The bill passed in the Senate, but House leaders refused to bring it to a vote driven by pressure from Republican Tea Party members, the same people who kind of took control of the Republican Party now.
And morphed into MAGA.
Correct.
So I guess Mike.
So did Boehner even reject it? Because Obama seemed to have placed a great deal of hope in Boehner.
I'm checking.
I guess my question is, or not even a question, doesn't this basically illustrate everything we've been saying on this show? None of these people give a damn about the rest of us. The only reason they make any type of statement is to remain in office. Because that's what I took away from that, listening to that.
So you're saying he wasn't sincere? Is that what you're saying?
Well, John, didn't Obama yesterday say, come out against ICE and how we need to stand up and resist and all that?
Yeah, but the statement you just played for us had nothing to do with that. It was a path to citizenship, not just coming in and grabbing every illegal immigrant and throwing them out. It was completely the opposite.
I guess my point, John, was just simply that so many of these politicians are just quick to say, okay, which way is the wind blowing? And I'm blaming both sides, by the way, John.
Well, that bit of audio does represent certainly a more tempered time in American politics. So as recently as 12 years ago, which is, do the math, what is
14.
that? 2014, there You could look to the leaders in Washington and you could find some degree of confidence that they were making an attempt to solve something.
I hate to throw a wet blanket on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
John Boehner did not vote for President Obama's comprehensive immigration reform bill. He blocked the Senate-passed immigration bill from getting a vote, citing a lack of consensus within his party from the Tea Party members and widespread doubt about President Obama from members of his party.
Why were the Tea Party members so down on it? Was it not strong enough?
Not strong enough, apparently.
And I'm sure it was the path for people who are already here.
Yeah.
I would guess Tea Party members were against that.
Huh.
So that's 2014, and we've gone from then until now. City councils coming up with their own view of this dilemma in the United States. In Minneapolis, it's called the separation ordinance. You talk about the way the wind is blowing, Chris. This has... I'm hopeful Trump is backpedaling right now. He's trying to, I think, it's hard to believe somebody actually got to him, but he's acting as though he realizes ICE has gone too far lately. They've just gone too far.
Yeah, he was yesterday. He rolled out of the throttle. That's the way I'd put it. He lifted.
He lifted his foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah, yeah.
And there goes Kristi Noem, perhaps never to be heard from again. There goes Bovino, perhaps never to be heard from again.
He did say this morning, and I'll have this in the news, Noem's not going anywhere.
Well, that you know what I mean, though. I mean,
Yeah, I know what you mean, yes. But
I don't think she's going to have a role where she will immediately be the go-to person who gets it wrong.
Odd choice of words, Joe.
Well, that's what she's done. Every time she's opened her mouth initially, it's been a giant lie. And even Trump must understand that and realize that's not going to work long term.
Control yourself, Reavers.
What do you want, a little timeout?
I'd like to hear from Kenny Olson.
Sure.
I
fine.
would like to hear from Jennifer from Rockford Ill again. Just tell me how it's working out. She sent an email last week regarding her experience with customroasting.net. I want to read you a little bit of it. Hey, Kenny, since you had such high praise for the French roast from Custom Roasting, I decided to head to the website when we were running low. I got the GL starter pack and several others. Boy, it sure smells amazing, and I couldn't be happier with how easy it was to order and have it shipped to me. It only took 4 days, and that included a weekend and MLK Day. So then I was wondering last week, how'd it turn out? How do you like it? And Jennifer got back to me yesterday saying, I have an update for you, Kenny. The boys, that being my husband and 22-year-old son, opened the French roast today. Husband said, it's great. He's a little understated. My son said, this is so smooth, I could drink it black. They use a French roast, and each of them usually drinks one carafe apiece. Jennifer said the kid is on his second carafe today. He said it totally lived up to the hype that you guys give it on the show, and he's looking forward to the other varieties I bought as well. Thanks again for the recommendations, Jennifer. Well, thank you, Jennifer. That email pretty much says it all, GLers. All you have to do is go to customroasting.net, get set up with that GL starter package. Or, you know, if you've been there before or French roast isn't your, how do they say that, isn't your jam, try some of the other flavors they have that they've roasted to perfection. And by the way, when they roast them to perfection, they don't do it until they receive your order. So there's no coffee that's been sitting around on a shelf waiting for a home. Go to customroasting.net.
Okay.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
I've given you the separation ordinance. This also from the City of Minneapolis website. You know, the one that has a little sailboat logo on it.
Yeah.
And city policy on immigration enforcement. We do not enforce immigration laws, and we follow the city separation ordinance. And in plainer language, without all of the rigmarole, the city of Minneapolis is committed to serving all residents no matter their immigration status. We follow the Minneapolis separation ordinance. That means that city employees, including police and firefighters, do not enforce federal immigration laws, cannot ask about your immigration status or documentation. It ensures everyone can feel safe using city services, reporting crimes, and being part of the community. The city of Minneapolis is a welcoming community. The city of Minneapolis is a welcoming city. This means everyone... No, you're all right. The city of Minneapolis is a welcoming city. This means everyone is protected and respected when they interact with our employees and services. When John Haidt's done, I would like to return to this. But here is John Haidt, and he's got the breaking news about a federal judge in Minnesota.
I do have that. I'll have that in just a moment, Joe. Let me tell you. First, we are brought to you by North American Banking Company, bringing us our news as always. And I did find out more about the statements from John Boehner when that whole thing we were talking about was going on.
Yeah.
It ended up not being voted on because, quote, he said Republicans didn't trust that President Obama would enforce border security, which was part of the bill. Okay. So that's why it never was brought
Border
to a vote.
security, of course, and that's what led to the wall.
Yeah. So
And that's when things really started. Okay.
In news, the head of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has been ordered to appear in person before Minnesota's chief federal judge over his agency's failure to comply with judicial orders. U.S. District Court Judge Patrick Schiltz filed his order to ICE's acting director, Todd Lyons, on Monday. The order from Schiltz, who was appointed by President George W. Bush, stems from the arrest of an Ecuadorian citizen in Minnesota. In that case, ICE arrested the individual on January 6th. His attorney challenged the detainment, and the court ruled he wasn't subject to detention based on the way ICE was applying the law. However, the judge set a deadline for the government to respond and give the individual a bond hearing. On January 23rd, the detainee's attorney told the court that ICE still hadn't given a bond hearing to the self-detained individual, and that drew the response from the judge. He said this is one of dozens of court orders of which respondents, ICE and Homeland Security, have failed to comply in recent weeks. The order directs Lyons to appear in person to show why he should not be held in contempt for the repeated violations of court orders, a step the judge himself even acknowledged is an extraordinary step. However, he noted the extent of ICE's violation of court orders is likewise extraordinary, and lesser measures have been tried and failed. Despite the order, Lyons still seems unlikely to appear, and that's because Schultz noted that if, before the hearing scheduled for Friday in Minneapolis, ICE releases the Ecuadorian detainee from custody, the court would cancel the hearing and would not require Lyons to appear. Border Patrol
Did that
Commander.
make sense to you, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
All
Well,
right.
I think a common way to say that would be he's saying, you ICE people, you're really slow walking this stuff. Let's get going here.
And what I found really interesting about it is that the judge did this himself.
Mm-hmm. He had enough BS, is what he's saying.
Yeah, and he decided to use his bully pulpit as a bully pulpit.
Yep.
Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino is expected to leave Minneapolis today as President Trump plans to reshuffle the immigration operation amid the backlash of the two high-profile killings of civilians. Bovino is, quote, losing his commander title, according to federal officials. He'll return to the border in El Centro, California, to resume his previous job as sector chief there and is scheduled, according to sources, for retirement soon. President Trump sending in Tom Homan, veteran leader of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, who's in charge of the country's borders and the president's deportation efforts. Meanwhile, President Trump this morning said Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem would not be stepping down amid the fallout from the shooting. He was asked by reporters outside the White House if Noem would be stepping down. He had a one-word answer saying no. He then told the press he still thinks Noem is doing, in his words, a very good job.
You know what I'd do? If I was king? I wouldn't. Homeland Security's time is come and gone.
Oh.
I would not have Homeland Security.
What would you have?
Well,
What
let's just
do you have?
nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
Joe, that's
Well, there was a
funny.
direct response to 9/11.
Yeah, this is not an unusual opinion. I've seen this stated by many.
This is
for
ridiculous.
the last
And
few
here's
days.
something else I
Yes.
would say. Who in the hell heads up ICE? There's been about 10 names. We don't even know how many people they employ.
Would it fall back on Border Patrol?
Yes, I still have an immigration
Okay.
control enforcement.
Interesting.
But what the Homeland Security? There's
Well, it's interesting you say that.
well, how many people are there? Who's Todd Lyons?
Are these the clowns that are making Grandma take her shoes
Yes.
off at the security line at the airport?
Yes.
We do have a bit of breaking news out of the White House.
Yeah.
Because I believe that we have declared war on Mother Nature, where we are now going to include 3,000% tariffs on Mother Nature.
My fellow Americans, it is my great honor, the greatest honor, to announce and declare complete and total victory over the 2025 hurricane season. We had 0 hurricanes in the Gulf of America ever since we made the name change. I got along very well with, you may have heard of her, Mother Nature. You may have heard of her. She's a tremendous person. I've known her for a long time, and we get along well. And I said to her, if you send any hurricanes into our country, we're going to hit you with tariffs the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. We're going to tariff those storms at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%.
Yep.
And she said, sir, we're not going to send any hurricanes in. And we made a beautiful deal. Mother Nature, great person. But we had a lot of, they call it wind shear. They call it wind shear. And it ripped up the storms out there before they can get to our country. Ripped up the storms worse than the Somalians are ripping up Minnesota.
All right, that's good. Thank you. Thank you
I
for
can
that
answer
announcement.
your question. Todd Lyons is the acting director.
Okay, then who's Tom Homan?
He's the border czar.
You asked me these questions before the
Well,
show.
you
so
know,
I'm
he's the-
ready.
my
is.
point is
He's the border czar.
that it's one more layer of government bureaucracy. The larger the government gets, the more inefficient it proves to be.
But he's the director.
By the way, the comedian that we just played that does, I think, the best Trump impersonation, his name is Sean Farash, Farash. Very, very funny.
By the way, back to that court case, if this bad guy is released, then this hearing is canceled, correct?
Oh,
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what the judge basically.
Yeah. So that's what's going to happen. By tomorrow, we'll have forgotten all about this.
I already did.
You
Don't
forgot
even need
what?
to wait till
I don't
then.
even know what you're
I don't
talking
even know what the hell
about.
you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I
what
don't
now?
have any idea. Senator Rand Paul, who's the chair of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, said that this morning that officers involved in the shooting here in Minneapolis should immediately be placed on administrative leave until an independent investigation is concluded. Meanwhile, speaking of the officers, a lot of meanwhiles lately. Have you involved in that? Because there's so many stories about this. Can't help it. Another twist in the shooting. Investigators are reviewing body camera videos from immigration agents in the shooting of Alex Preddy, according to a Department of Homeland Security spokesperson. Homeland Security investigators do have videos recorded by cameras worn by multiple agents, according to Department spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin. The agents involved in the shooting were part of the Border Patrol Tactical Unit, a specialized force, she said. 2 law enforcement officials told NBC News that the unit has more body-worn cameras.
The New York Times, I know that's only respected by one of the tribes, has currently available a frame-by-frame analysis of the best video that was obtained Saturday, the best video they could get their hands on. and it's worth your time to watch it.
I was reading about that Sig Sauer yesterday after the show. A lot of people hate that gun. A lot of people hate it.
Well, is it true that it has occasionally fired on its own?
If it's bumped in the right way, in the right manner, it's not just going to fire sitting on a table. But yeah, if mishandled, quite easily from what I read, which I recognize as hearsay, but that's what I read on the internets.
Well, which tribe is going to believe that?
Right.
Yeah,
It depends on who will benefit the most from it on a day-to-day basis.
Don't you feel kind of free in GL, having your own sense of your own individuality to try to look at stuff and weigh it, as opposed to being a member of the tribes, one tribe or the other?
Yeah.
I reject both tribes.
Make everybody mad.
I do. I'm very successful. I anger everybody.
That's
okay. That's
you're doing your job.
That's rare.
You know what?
I've told you guys this before. I have many close friends, and I don't like any of them.
I know. I understand.
The problem is the members of the tribes all think each of us belong to a tribe. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There might be 5 guys who think, Joe, that you belong to that one tribe, and 5 more who think you belong to the other one.
Well, I can tell you, in all sincerity, I don't belong to a tribe.
There you go. All right. One story locally that has nothing to do with all of this. 2 special elections today.
Oh, I can make this a tribe story. You try me. Go ahead.
Okay. In 2... No, I just meant with the ICE stuff.
Yeah, I'll make it a tribe story.
Okay. 2 special elections today in heavily Democratic East Metro legislative districts.
Well, those are commies.
Will decide control of the House for the 3rd time in less than a year. Republicans right now holding a 67-65 advantage in the chamber after 2 Democratic representatives were elected to other offices in November. In St. Paul, District 64A seat that was vacated by the now St. Paul mayor has an election that includes the Union, Park, McAllister, Groveland, and Summit University neighborhoods. Meg Luger Nicola, a labor lawyer who won a December DFL primary, will face the sole Republican candidate, business owner Dan Walsh. Luger Nicolai received about 30% of the vote in a 6-candidate contest last month. Walsh was the only Republican candidate, so a primary was not needed. DFLers generally dominate elections in that area of St. Paul, and most of St. Paul for that matter. Meanwhile, there's also a special election for District 47A, a Woodbury district. DFLer Shelley Buck is the only candidate on the ballot, although voters can vote for write-in candidates. Buck is a former environmental nonprofit executive and former president of the Prairie Island Tribal Council. The 47A House seat was vacated when Amanda Hemmingson Yeager successfully ran for an open Senate seat.
To my knowledge, not one single DFLer has ever said one word about toning it down in the Twin Cities.
Nope.
Not one single DFLer.
Am I within my time limit?
Sure.
Kenny, this is for you based upon the comment that you just had. Are you ready talking about really good friends?
The less I know about other people's affairs, the happier I am. I'm not interested in caring about people. I once worked with a guy for 3 years and never learned his name.
Oh, my God.
Best friend I ever had.
Absolutely.
We still never talk sometimes.
We still never talk sometimes.
The bride, I'll talk to a friend. I'll chat with a friend I haven't chatted with in 3-4 years, Paul. And the bride, the roommate comes and says, well, how's the wife? How's his son? What's going on? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't know.
What, how am I supposed to know? We talked about a snowmobile.
Oh, you know? Kenny, that's you're mirroring a joke I read or saw on the socials, where a stand-up guy went to play golf with his close friend who just got divorced.
Yes, I know this.
Yeah,
one.
and when he got home, his wife said, "Well, how is he doing?" He's doing fine. Yeah. Well, I mean, did you say anything about the family? No, we were just in the golf cart. And well, you must have said something. I mean, you've known him for 25 years. He just got divorced. Did anything come up? No, we were just playing golf. And then the punchline is, he got a new driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a new driver. That's what's news to us. I can't tell you how many times I've told people, stop talking. I don't want to hear any more about that divorce or whatever that drama is.
Yeah.
I just don't want to know.
Before we take a break, it should be noted that a fella who usually is on this show apparently is listening because he just sent me a text saying Dan Walsh, the fella running in 64A on the Republican side, is a 1988 CDH grad.
Oh,
so
yeah?
apparently now he's going to put that on his timesheet.
I wonder
today.
Yeah.
What was his favorite restaurant, Matthew?
Well, he probably knows.
And what did the rest of his family do for a
I
living?
hope you got to change that kid about 5 times.
Wait, I have, since Matthew's listening, I have one for him today. Matthew, when it comes to heavy thinking, you travel light, my friend.
Thank you for sharing, Jenny.
Yeah. Thank you
Anne
very
was
much.
getting a little chummy. When people get too chummy with me, I like to call them by the wrong name to let them know I don't really care about them.
Yes.
Yeah, but you guys give me the $1 million test all the time. You're contradicting yourselves. I'm him.
You are Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
Why don't we take a quick break here and hear from my good friend Pete and see what's going on.
Thanks, Eric. North American Banking Company has been investing in your success for you, your family, and your business since 1998. And way back then, they decided that they wanted to do something differently and create a better banking experience for their customers where you know your banker and they know you. They are locally owned and operated. Here's why that's important. That means all loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So this helps all of you individually, but also helps all of you small business owners solve problems quickly and also expand your business with confidence. And you do get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's 50th in France, Roseville, Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, and also in Maple Grove. They offer the same updated online and mobile banking tools as all of those other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been thinking about, their experts will make it easy and also handle everything professionally. So check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Johnny? Eric?
Oh, hi.
Gus.
Thank you very much. I did hear back from our friend. He says the Nook is Dan Walsh's favorite restaurant.
Jesus.
Just so you know.
God, he would know. He would
you,
know.
Matthew.
Well, I'm voting for. Well, I don't even live in that district. Never mind.
Doesn't matter in Minnesota.
I guess not.
You don't even have a person in your district, do you? Oh, wait. No, you're not in that district. Never mind. The European Union and India concluded a free trade agreement after
We got
almost
a guy. We got a guy.
You can do it.
You can get there.
Get there.
Yeah.
European Union and India concluded a free trade agreement after almost 2 decades of negotiations, part of an effort to deepen their economic ties that had gained momentum due to the Trump administration's aggressive tariff policies. European Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen said, "We have concluded the mother of all deals." The head of the EU executive, who was in New Delhi to mark the moment with European Council President Antonio Costa, added the accord created a free trade zone of 2 billion people, with both sides being able to benefit. Israel announced yesterday it has recovered the remains of the last hostage held in Gaza since Hamas's October 7th, 2023 cross-border attack, a development seen as key to advancing the ceasefire process. The remains of a 24-year-old Special Forces officer killed during the initial attack were identified after a military operation in a northern Gaza cemetery that involved exhuming and testing more than 250 bodies. Concert news, State Fair. We now know who will open the fair first night, August 27th. Bonnie Raitt will be
That's
there.
not bad.
No, Bonnie has been at the State Fair 8 times. Since 1990. Her most recent visit, 2016, on a bill with Richard Thompson. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer recorded, of course, her 1971 debut album here in the Twin Cities, and her brother Steve was a longtime local resident before his 2009 death from cancer. Tickets are priced $46 to $99.25. Go on sale at 10 o'clock Friday through eTix.
Is Bonnie Raitt from Minnesota?
No, she's not.
Her brother was. But she has deep ties. All the old blues guys in town know her quite well.
Yeah, and she was, Pat Hayes from Longcrantz, and they were very
Pat
good
and
buddies.
Larry, my buddy. Have I bored you with my Bonnie Raitt live at the State Fair story, John?
Yes, you have. Go ahead,
Go
John.
ahead.
Tell me what it was,
I'll tell you.
Joe.
I don't know what it was.
I'll tell you mine then, too.
I don't think I've ever heard it, Ken, in all seriousness.
She played the State Fair the day after Stevie Ray Vaughan died.
That's my story.
And John, do you remember the heat lightning that was happening in the North Metro? So while you're watching Bonnie on stage with the lights and everything, there was an incredible display of heat lightning
love
off
that.
in the north. It
Cool.
was so cool. Yeah.
And she was Stevie Ray Vaughan's sponsor when he quit drinking.
Yep.
So she obviously knew him quite well and was very...
Is Bonnie a 12-stepper?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll be
She was
damned.
deeply involved in drinking.
She's in the club, huh? All right.
And opening that show, I can add to your story, Kenny, Jeff Healey. who
Yes.
played-
My God. That's the second time I saw Jeff Healey.
Yep. Paid tribute to Stevie Ray Vaughan by doing Cold Shot that
Yep.
evening.
I also saw him play at the final.
It's always dangerous when you guys get going on this.
Thank
I
you
got
for
lots more-
reminding me about Healey. He was so good.
Oh, yeah. It's wonderful.
So wait, how long ago was that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well,
like
when
100,
Stevie
150
Ray
years
Vaughan
ago?
died, 1988.
Be
right?
Long time.
before microphones.
Wow.
Probably before you were born, Chris.
Yeah, you were probably, 11, 12?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Also,
That's cool, though. That's
another
very cool.
Another concert announcement. Lionel Richie. and
Why are
Earth,
you
Wind
doing
and-
this? Why are you giving the fair this publicity?
This
We're
isn't the
alone.
fair. This is at Grand Casino Arena
I'm
in
sorry.
St. Paul.
I'm sorry.
Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind and Fire will be
Oh,
coming June
really?
24th.
How
And
many
they have
original
chairs
members
there, right?
are left of Earth, Wind, and Fire?
There's several.
Really?
The important one is Philip Bailey.
And he's there?
He's the guy with the high voice.
All
you know.
right.
Buddy,
Oh, yeah.
But you could actually sit down and enjoy that show, right? You don't have
Yes.
to stand up.
Oh, no, you can sit.
No, you'd have to stand a bit, I think.
Do they have cup holders? I
Yeah,
like
they
cup
got
holders.
cup holders in those chairs.
They've been there a lot. I've actually seen them twice at Excel. Or it's not Excel anymore. It's what?
Grand Casino Arena.
Yeah, and they're a really good show. Just
Where
fun as
is
heck.
that?
That's what they call the X now.
The
Yeah.
X is-
I'm sorry. I thought you meant it was. I'm sorry. Yeah, Grand
I'm
Casino is now X. Yeah.
I'm not rolling
Or
with
X
that
is now
one.
Grand Casino.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
it's the X. Yeah,
Tickets
sorry.
go on sale this Friday through Ticketmaster. And one other music note.
Yes.
I try not to do, deaths, but this one I have to. Sly Dunbar, legendary drummer, who helped shape the sound of reggae music as one half of Sly and Robbie has died. He was 73 years old. Dunbar's wife told the Gleaner newspaper she found him unresponsive at home on Monday. Two-time Grammy Award winner, 13-time nominee, Dunbar and his Sly and Robbie bandmate Robbie Shakespeare played on an estimated 200,000 recordings, alongside everyone from Mick Jagger and Bob Marley to Bob Dylan and the band No Doubt.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
200,000 recordings?
200,000.
That's
I've
hard
seen
to
that.
believe.
I thought the same thing. So I
Was
verified
Robbie
it.
a bass player?
Robbie was a bass player.
So he
died
was
a
the
couple years
slap
ago.
bass guy, right? The
No,
slap
he
and
was
the
more
pull-offs?
just almost a straight. reggae
I'm not
kinda.
buying 200,000. That doesn't. The math
Who am I
doesn't work.
thinking of, John?
Well, you
That-
can
that-
do. I'm sorry, Kenny. Joe's.
Well, John,
answered-
if you did 5 a day, how many years would it take?
Jeez, Joe,
Well,
you
5
really
times
focus on
3.
the.
365 times 5 would be 5. Carry 2, carry 3. 117, 1728 into 200,000 would be what? 100 and some days, right?
There's no way you've done 1,703 GL podcasts. There's just no way.
Yeah,
it
what
doesn't
the
make
hell?
any sense. I'm just not buying it. So who am I thinking of, John? The bass player, the soul bass player that innovated and did
Larry-
all the Huh?
Larry Graham. From
Okay,
Sly,
yeah,
Sly
thank
and the
you.
Family Stone.
All right, thank you.
Is that who Larry the Pug is named after?
No,
I don't.
Is it named after Larry Hayes?
I didn't name him.
Oh,
John, thank you.
that
No,
does
let me
not
do one
my
more
dog.
story.
All right, one more,
If
John.
I may, and only because of our fellow.
Are you doing
that's-
this?
Yeah, but you're going to do golf show.
Oh boy.
only because of the fellow that's missing from the show today. I want to get this one in.
Okay.
Helping to care for grandchildren may serve as a buffer against cognitive decline in older adults.
Not in his case.
Not
in his case.
He's too far gone.
That ain't going to work with him.
It's too late. Many grandparents providing regular care that supports families and society more broadly, said researcher Flavia Charechis.
Well, that's who I would count on.
An open question, however, is whether caregiving for grandkids may also benefit grandparents. In this research, we wanted to see if providing grandchild care might benefit grandparents' health, potentially slowing down cognitive decline, and we found it did. And if you want to read all about this, it's in the journal Psychology and Aging.
John, you've given me an opportunity here. I have another zinger for Matthew since we know he's listening. Matthew, you're clearly intelligent. It just doesn't show up where it matters.
Well, and Kenny, the thing I was thinking about here
That's
is
for you, Matt.
I was talking to my young associate here to the left. I'm just really worried about that young baby Trey being devoid of any type of attention or any type of gifts or anything that's going to help him succeed.
His kid will never eat.
Right.
I got
It's
a
going to be
message
the most
from him.
spoiled grandkid on the planet.
You know those things you have at birthday parties that you blow into them and they roll out?
Yeah.
He's going to be playing one of those for the next 20 years, just walking around blowing into that thing.
He actually answered us already. He said, oddly enough, I have Mick babysitting me while I watch the babies.
Well, he knows what's up.
The 2026 North American Banking Company Minnesota Golf Show, Feb 13.
Hey.
Friday the 13th. We'll be there through Sunday the 15th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Great deals on golf apparel, free lessons from PGA pros, game improvement clinics. Watch Pebble Beach Pro-Am at the 19th Hole Lounge with your buddies. Each ticket purchase, this is the reason to go, if not for all the other wonderful reasons. Each ticket purchase comes with access to 15 free greens fee passes around the local golf.
That's incredible because it used
fantastic.
to be lower than that. That's amazing.
Let me repeat that. Each ticket purchase comes with access to 15 free greens fee passes. Appearances throughout the weekend by former Viking and Hall of Famer John Randall. To purchase tickets, visit mingolfshow.com. MN. mingolfshow.com. We'll see you there on Friday the 13th.
guy wears many hats, just not indoors. Joe Souchere.
Let's talk
Dad,
about.
whoa.
Let it breathe for a minute.
Let it breathe.
Closing credits music. That's what this is.
We had our We Are Nuts gift packs that we were all sent for the big game. Are you seeing that on screen right now?
Yes.
I brought home the big silo of jumbo cashews and set it on the kitchen counter. And then this morning when I went to go, you know what? I'm going to go have a handful after running here and running there before I was going to head in. And the silo was gone.
Just going someplace.
And I said, I wonder where the silo is. And it was empty in the recycling bin.
You serious, Clark?
And I went, wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. I brought home the jumbo cashews, and they were all gone.
Somebody's
Don't look
gonna
at
be,
me.
No.
Somebody's going to be busy today.
Someone's gone.
Boy, you got that right. They keep you regular.
And they're a wonderful snack made by a wonderful family and a wonderful organization called We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. I haven't opened up the cherry mix, by the way. Have you tried that yet, Joe?
I have.
And Mayor approved?
100%.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're going to be entertaining for the big game coming up here in a couple of Sundays. Why not go with the best snacks known to man and a wonderful Minnesota company with We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com, available at 700 different Quick Trip locations right now. Also London Barley's, Kowalski's Markets, Colburn's County Market, Cub Foods, Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores. It's all over the place. But if you're not able to make it to any one of those locations, just place your order online right now at wearenutsmn.com. And when you do place that order, please let them know that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic podcast.
I want to remind you that tomorrow we'll have Daniel Strand joining us. He wrote a piece for what magazine is it, Gabe? First Things. It's called The Banality of Minnesota Fraud. It's a different look at it than what we've been accustomed to. His name is Daniel Strand, and I got very intrigued, not only because the piece was just brilliant, but because he's from here. He's a big shot. What is he? He's a professor at the Air Force Academy, I believe. He's a professor, and he's from here. His name's Daniel Strand. If you haven't read the piece, you really should. It's called The Banality of Minnesota Fraud. It appeared January 14th, and I can't wait to talk to him. I do have good news. Good news. The doomsday clock says it's almost over anyway.
Oh, good.
This is the doomsday clock time of year.
Do we get to watch the Super Bowl at least?
I don't know. Maybe not. We're at the closest point yet. I think they say this every year. We're at the closest point yet to destroying ourselves. Boy, is that true.
Boy.
The human race is at its closest point ever to destroying itself, according to the reset of the ominous but symbolic doomsday clock. It's been ticking since 1947. We're closer to midnight than we've ever been. January 27th. What day is
today.
that? Well, that's today.
Well,
that's
I've
what they said it today. They said that we're closer today.
If that's the case, I've got some things I need to unload here. So after the show, if you guys could stick around.
The clock now stands,
talk to you individually.
and I think this changes every year because they never want it to hit midnight, but it's a great story every year. The clock now stands at 85 seconds to midnight. That's 4 seconds sooner than last year. Ooh. We're really getting there. This is the closest the clock's ever been to midnight since 1947. It is updated each year by the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, which organizes the assessment of how close we are to self-inflicted end of humanity. But, you know, they have a very limited scope. They're only looking at nuclear disaster. There's a million ways we're going to end it. It doesn't have to be nuclear
should
doom.
I set my alarm and get up for this?
I think so. Well, you got 85 seconds to go. The current trajectory is unsustainable, National leaders, particularly U.S., Russia, and China, must take the lead in finding a path away from the brink. There's no chance of that. The doomsday clock is a metaphor for how close humanity is to self-annihilation. And it serves as a call to action to find solutions to the world's most urgent, human-made existential threats, to move the hands of the clock away from midnight, according to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. So there you have it. We're very close. I just wish, give me a week, please. Just tell me, can I have a week?
A little bit of heads up.
Do we get a heads up? Give me a week. I want just a week. I'll see you down at Yarmouth's. I think they sell cigarettes there, too.
Yeah.
So that's...
I'm not buying anything. I'm walking in and I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I
what's the
identify as paid.
Yeah.
Only
God,
because...
I'd like, Joe, like 5 cartons of Marlboro Red.
I want Pall Mall Straights.
Just going to start pounding them.
And then everyone's going to get tamped on my watch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just once.
Oh.
And if
You guys
they
don't think
have
about it at all, do you?
No. If they don't have the Pall Mall Reds, I'll go with LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. They're short, though. You know, those Pall Malls, you can drag out the death with those things. Only because they come to us all the way from...
You get calluses on your fingertips from where you're holding it. Yeah.
Only because they come to us all the way from Kaiwaka, New Zealand, the home of the traveling Lyman's temporary home, who can be followed at worldwidewaftage.com. It was on this day,
Joe, today is January 27th.
1871. Kentucky Congressman James Proctor Knott delivered a speech called The Glories of Duluth in Congress, mocking the city in an effort to defeat a bill granting land to the St. Croix and Lake Superior Railroad. Duluth citizens appreciated the free publicity, however, and the town of Proctor was named for him. Boy, that says a lot about us. Here's a guy in Congress who apparently gets up and rips the hell out of Duluth, trying to defeat a bill that called for Duluth giving land to a railroad, and we loved it. They named a city for him, Proctor. Thank you for all that. That went over pretty well.
Yep.
On this day,
January 27th, Joe.
in 1960, Grand Portage National Monument, established by Congress in 1958 and located within the Grand Portage Indian Reservation, was dedicated when Secretary of the Interior Fred A. Seaton accepted the site from the Grand Portage Band of the Minnesota Chippewa. The 8.5-mile Gitche Onegaming, the Great Carrying Place, near the mouth of the Pigeon River, was a major gateway to the interior of North America for exploration, the fur trade, and commerce. On this day in Minnesota sports disappointment history.
Joe, who did we lose to on Jan 27?
Well, on this day in 1972, the Vikings traded, presumably with the Giants, to get Fran Tarkenton back. I forgot all about that. On this day,
Jan 27.
in 1984, Bud Grant retired for the second time. Resigned and retired for the second time.
You were tipped off by Dark Star.
I don't know if that was his tip-off or not. I think it might have been. On this day,
Jan 27.
in 2020, the Wolves blew a 17-point lead to an enemy we don't have listed here with less than 3 minutes left.
Ooh, that's tough to do.
Kind of been doing that lately, I think.
Yeah. Well, he won last night. Come on.
Oh, they did?
Yep.
Who'd they beat?
The Warriors.
They go back-to-back with the Warriors?
They did.
On this day,
Jan 27.
in 2022, the Minnesota Aurora soccer team was given its name.
Why is that disappointment?
It's not. It's just in here. There's really not...
a rhyme or reason?
It really isn't. I'm glad Tom consults this, but I don't know what the hell it is. Is there a book about this day in history, sports history? I'm glad we have them.
It's a website.
Wait,
I'm
I
glad
thought it
we
was
have them.
Fella.
It's very important
it's
that we
not
have this.
Dan.
Dan Minnesota?
Is it Dan?
Yep, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
Dan.
Dan. He's a GLer.
Yes, he
so
is.
I know,
be
but
nice.
but Dan, that the Aurora. Maybe Dan thinks that's a disappointment.
He's not a soccer fan.
Yeah. GLers, from now on, it's going to be the news through a tribe's eye view. Let's do one. Kenny, give us a traffic thing, and then we'll see if we can come up with
everything down.
come up with a tribe's eye view.
No.
All right.
He will not be
I
participating
guess he
in
doesn't
this
want to play that
experiment.
game.
The computer's turned off. I'm
Daniel
outta here.
Strand tomorrow on GL.
What Kenny's trying to say is it's baby Trey's nap time, so we need to take a time out.
Yeah. What is that kid now, about 15? 170 pounds?
15 months? No, he's not 15 months. Hi, how are you? Do us a favor if you haven't done so already and hit the subscribe button on the Garage Logic YouTube channel, where you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. You can also see full segments, video shorts. There's even behind the scenes footage.
You know what?
What?
I can see this Trey character becoming a little GL mascot. They'll have a little sweater for him, like it says GL. And they'll drag him around to public events. He'll be our mascot.
Well, if he's anything like his grandfather, he will also become America's next guest.
He'll be a guest.
Yeah, he'll be a guest. He's available. Any sponsorship opportunity. Also, social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And yeah, there you go. See you tomorrow.